This one I've been sitting on and saving for a bit because people submitted it like right after it was uploaded, and I wanted to give it some time. Wait, they haven't uploaded in a year and just randomly just dropped a video at like 1 o'clock on a Sunday? I'm in. It's a cool game, and apparently they had a big update recently, so let's see what's going on with some Deadlock.
Multiplayer games come in many shapes and sizes, but functionally they all provide the same thing: hate speech.
Murder him!
They also act as a broker for social interaction.
Oh, okay, fair enough.
The pleasantry of these exchanges depends on what you're playing. Cooperative games are fairly low stakes. If you're playing Deep Rock Galactic and your teammate keeps friendly firing point-blank nukes...
That was pretty rude.
Rock on!
There's nukes in Deep Rock Galactic? Yeah, when you guys tried to get me to play Deep Rock Galactic, why did nobody bring that up? That was the way to get me to play the game. Hello? I thought you guys knew me.
It's gonna make the mission difficult, but not impossible. Each player has a role to perform within the team's dynamic, but failure to do so is generally not a big deal. Maybe your driller can't navigate for shit, but tell them where to go, and
it takes a while to get to it, so what?
Easier. Give a scout a platform,
I'll work up to getting a
both of your
nuke.
Jobs are instantly simplified. Cooperative games involve a distribution of responsibility. Often you need to trust a teammate with your life in order to progress.
Uh-oh.
Look out.
Look out, it's already
When
exploded.
using a seesaw, one participant alone cannot hoist themselves upwards. A second body is needed to offset weight across the fulcrum. Likewise, cooperative play often involves one participant offsetting laborial weight for another. If you drill a hole, I'll kill everything at the end of it. If you place a platform, I'll jump up there and mine. Like the seesaw, each person takes turns providing the other a service. I'll do this so you can do that. I'll exert effort here to let you do something else there. Effort, load, weight, counterweight. By contrast, competitive games don't necessitate any kind of social agreement between opponents. If the ice climbers can win without ever letting the enemy perform an action, there is no seesaw logic at play anymore. Compromise is no longer baked into the gameplay itself. Instead, it's replaced with the active prediction of enemy actions. Which direction will my opponent attack from? Are they passive or aggressive? Which actions
team-based games, I feel like there still is, though.
That's great. I'm so glad all of your attacks are half circles. I can barely get out 2 jabs before you're swinging.
Each participant is actively influencing one another, both with an understanding. If I do this, you'll do that. If you do this, I'll do that.
Is this really how you're gonna play? Fuck you.
For me to win, you have to lose. When co-op and competitive elements merge, we call that a team-based game. If you build me a teleporter, I'll shove the objective. If you keep me alive, I'll give you Uber.
Yep.
Yet meanwhile, your opponents have access to their own parabolic seesaws. They too are coordinating, doing each other favors. And depending on the game, the element of mechanical skill is likely at play. To reflect a projectile, you must predict when an enemy fires.
If you stand in front of me and tank, I will heal you.
Spy, you have to exhibit innocent behaviors typical of an enemy player.
I will do damage,
teamwork,
and I will kill them,
and misleading.
and
it
we will
makes
win.
the team game analogous to modern sports. But while a quarterback and a wide receiver cannot verbally communicate mid-play, in video games communicating mid-play is trivially easy.
Heavy stress.
3, 2, 1,
Hold your
pop it.
stress. Demos.
Good. Demo dead, scout dead,
Oh,
med
that's better.
dead.
Yeah, you got it, you got it.
Spider-Man.
What is?
Oh my god! Holy shit!
I saw what just happened.
Heavy stairs to concrete. He's 5 HP to the right.
Dead.
Me, my man.
I'm gonna be honest with you, chat. I don't understand anything that's happening right
This
now.
human factor is something widely unapplicable to single-player games. In BioShock Infinite,
understood
Elizabeth
none of
will
that.
react to requests from the player to open certain rifts, but the player cannot instruct Elizabeth to, for example, scope into a
I knew it
sniper
was
rifle
TF2, it
aimed
just-
upwards while crouching.
Never played it.
Do it. Yes. Good.
In Half-Life 2, Alex can provide the player covering fire, but she cannot, upon request, do a funny kill bind.
Medic, quick. Do a funny kill bind.
Yeah, thanks, Doc.
AI companions lack the ability to improvise given a complex request. Likewise, AI opponents draw from a predefined table of behaviors, and while some are full of surprises, you'll never see the xenomorph exhibit quite the same indescribable quirks of a real person controlling a character.
I have to see what this Genji was.
Wait, you'd already. Oh.
Hey, I've done that.
All this to say, the team-based game
Oh,
exhibits
God.
the many best parts of fighting both alongside and against real people. That may sound like calling water wet, but it is an often understated element to the genre. There's infinite content
Also,
discussing
did anyone
balance
did anyone
patches, niche
catch?
tech
Did anyone catch, by the way, the Orisa's name is Plot Armor?
element to the genre.
That's
There's
awesome.
infinite content discussing balance patches, niche tech tier lists, yet very little discussing the ways people build.
Wait, that's me! Wait, I'm in here! That's a jump scare! Random jump. I was just thinking to myself when he was scrolling YouTube, I was like, nah, no way I'm gonna accidentally appear in this, right?
A mental profile of their teammates and opponents, tracking their
Wait, hang on, what was the search? Multiplayer hero or multiplayer shooter games?
content discussing balance patches, niche tech tier lists, yet very little discussing the ways people build a mental
How did this got a little personal?
profile
How
of
did
their
that get in there?
teammates and opponents, tracking their strengths and weaknesses in real time. And I'm sure you're
I can't
wondering,
escape.
what does any of this have to do with Deadlock?
Knockdown on Lash in this lane.
Yep.
Phase ulting.
Oh yeah,
Hitting Haze,
this is
hitting Haze.
this is some Deadlock. Yeah, this is the Deadlock I remember.
Lash has ult if you see him.
He's on me.
Near blue.
Just push up purple.
Yeah, keep pushing.
Oh
Much of what
god.
defines the Deadlock heroes is that for all of the ways which they work well alone, they work even better with a teammate nearby. A Bebop hook can be followed up with a McGinnis wall. A 7 ult can be grabbed and flown around by an Ivy ult. Likewise, many items in the game motivate the sharing of resources across teammates. If
Right.
your friend gets trapped in a stun, you can give him the emergency barrier in your pocket. If you're in a rush, you can blast nearby teammates with a speed boost.
Hey, buddy.
If I went back and played
Conversely,
Deadlock today,
enemy
I would get
actions
absolutely
can be predicted
destroyed.
and counterplayed by your own. A Bebop hook can be prematurely walled off.
Hey, 7. You're welcome.
Thanks, what up?
A flying Ivy can be stunned and knocked out of the sky. The nature of having 4 lanes and 6 players also means it's
Didn't they just have an update to make it 3 lanes now? Isn't that like the big Deadlock update they just did? They did? I'm very interested to see how that looks. I might have to go. I wonder if there's like a video on it. Maybe I could see.
easy to end up fracturing into multiple smaller team fights rather than one big team fight. For example, the outer lanes begin with a 1v1 format while the inner ones always 2v2. In effect, the outer lanes play less like a team game and more like
Restocks, whoever takes some wins the lane. Early power slash, but the McGinnis jumps off stage. Now her mobility does not support the off stage. Oh, it's the parry, the Yamato with them. One more heavy punch and it's over. Oh my god.
the combat is a punitive mixture
Yep.
of mid-range chipping,
I remember
close
that.
combat brawling, and long-range three-point throws.
Playing against McGinnis in a solo lane.
Some set up
That.
disgustingly long true combo strings of abilities, while others will simply beat the shit out of you.
That's my style right there. Fucking based.
Bro, get the fuck out of my
Just
face.
beating the fuck.
Every hero has different preferences for their spacing and zoning. Pocket likes to get up close, blow up, and then run away, but he's also highly vulnerable during his cooldowns. Calico likes to bait you forward, then chase you down, but one good
Calico?
slowing hex can
Oh,
lead
new
her
character,
quickly
probably.
to Claude. Lady Geist gives you no safe range to play at by forcing you to constantly reposition yourself, but a mid-range fight at low health is rarely favorable for her. McGinnis is content to playing for a long defense. She forces her enemies to play riskier, but catch her out of position and she'll be incapable of getting away. This laning phase is a test of which player understands the matchup more. Mistakes are punished, often repeatedly, until someone either
Yep.
adjusts their playstyle or loses their tower. Like any fighting game, inevitably you'll encounter somebody so far above your skill level that they absolutely wipe the fucking floor with you.
Yep. That would be me now. I'd be getting. I'd.
You can have the lane, honestly.
I will never come here again.
Where the similarities end is that this duel is only one portion of a much larger battle. If you can't confirm souls in the lane, you can still smash nearby boxes to break even. If you can't kill your enemy, you can still...
You know what's the best? One thing I remember about Deadlock is if I got shit on in a lane for the first like 5 or 6 minutes, I'd disappear. I'd disappear for about 10 minutes. And I'd come back so fucking juiced up, I would just chase them down, just fucking perma-CC them.
Avoid dying to them.
They ass up. And I would enjoy every second of it. Don't care if I won the game anymore. I won my war.
Clearing timed waves of NPCs. Stand too close and your
pin them in the wall,
jump you.
punch.
Stand too far and they might starve you.
Lifesteal, punch.
Unlike most MOBAs, Deadlock combat does not have a fixed range, meaning precaution must be taken with regards to long-range abilities. Although all of this applies equally to the duo.
Hang on, Shade's gonna kill me if I don't grab this video to watch. Let's continue. My bad.
Lane, there it is much easier to focus on one task and allocate other responsibilities to your teammate. The same cannot be said of the solo lane. Given this balancing act, a common early play is to send somebody
think it'll
over
ever make
to
it to
help.
console?
It's a bit
Deadlock?
of a walk to pull this off, which means good coordination is
It
important.
could.
I'm not going to
Probably
walk
could.
all the way over there if you don't really need my help. Likewise, I'm not just going to abandon my lane if the enemy is non-stop aggressive in it. Still, there are certain situations
Sometimes you
that
go
all
gank the
but
other lane, though.
necessitate intervention. Check this out. I'm solo laning against Infernus, and it's a complete goddamn standstill nearing minute 10. He has spirit, I have bullet. He has souls, I have objective. He's freezing the wave, I'm sniping the wave. It's a stalemate. A deadlock, perchance? When this happens, only one thing will tip the scales. So my teammate rotates over, which makes his teammates rotate over, which makes my other teammates rotate over, which makes all hell break loose in my previously 1v1 lane.
What the fuck is the entire server in my lane?
True.
Teamwork can turn a difficult 1v1 into an easy 2v1.
You know what
but
sucked
that
though?
Requires a
When you,
mixture of
if you didn't have the
awareness,
game sense or you weren't used to it yet,
and it requires a
and then
pinch
the
of
first
trust
one
in
showed up in your
complete
lane,
stranger
and
of a
the whole
teammate.
fight broke out,
Deadlock
but you were
is a
dead.
Weird game. It's an ecosystem of many social agreements, all of which fall apart the moment a single person fails to uphold them.
Bebop's chasing me, but we gotta get out of here. Do you have ult? Please ult me! Please ult me!
Bro, it's not gonna happen. This will happen. No! I didn't want to get grabbed of you.
Deadlock is a game of personal judgment
no.
calls, all of which have rippling effects on everyone
Nah, if
around
you do that, then
Gobble
someone
up too
starts
many
screaming at
cans
you
and
in
might be
Russian.
unintentionally screwing over your underfunded teammates. Give a troubled friend covering fire, and you might end up dissuading enemies from chasing them. Acts of courtesy are often the foundation of good synchronicity. It's common courtesy, for example, to call when a lane opponent goes missing. Conveying that gives your team time to back up and avoid getting jumped. But if you don't bother to tell them, good luck.
Flash is here!
Oh shit. I apologize.
Now, one time is an honest mistake.
I apologize.
Now, 2 times is a brutal but understandable fuck up.
Oh my god. I swear to fucking god, they were here like 1 second ago.
Rush, 2 bars. I lost LOS. Bebop's here!
But 3 times. 3 times. This is starting to feel personal, guys.
Forget you okay?
The same way returning a cart is an unrequired expectation of going shopping, alert.
Is it abnormal that that bothers me to no end? Anytime I see someone do that, I stare at them really fucking hard. Like, I glare at them. I was at the grocery store literally last week. Okay, here's the lane. You know, parking, whatever. I'm the fuck down here. I'm down here, way down here. The cart return thing, right fucking here. Car with a lady parked, right here. My dumbass with a little smile, walking by, watches her leave her cart right here. And I walk by and I watch her leave the cart here. And I'm looking at her and she looks back at me. I give like a little shrug and I'm just staring at her because she just, as she's walking around the back of her car, I'm walking by and I watched her leave the cart there. She's literally parked right across from the return thing. And as she's walking by, she like looks down. I just shake my head and she like looks back up. And so I'm still like looking in her direction. And she like looks away like all scared. And I'm like, what? You're a fucking bum. You're a lazy bum. Just put the fucking cart away. I'm parked in goddamn Narnia because I don't want to hit my fucking truck. And I still come back to drop the shit off.
Alerting others of things which might affect them is an
Or you know what's worse? If you come back and there's a cart next to your car. You know what I'm talking about? Where like the person who was next to you parked next to you, and then you leave, go in the store, come outside, their car's gone, and the thing's sitting 2 inches away, and you're like, the wind blew, man. That would have fucking hit me. You
unrequired expectation of any competent teammate. If you don't call when an enemy goes missing, you're offloading the responsibility of handling it to someone who doesn't even know it's coming for them.
Maybe I'm over-exaggerating it or overreacting.
I didn't know that.
Dynamo's missing.
As a match progresses, players begin to migrate more often. Observant teammates will generally identify dicey situations and show up to help out. One player might favor cooperative situations and...
Oh, please! Please! I'm begging you! I'm begging you, Doctor! Thanks.
While another may instead opt into a more individualistic playstyle, staying far away from the action but remaining close to map objectives. Regardless of direct interaction with each other, both players are still contributing to the team in different meaningful ways. At this stage of a match, fights can be won by dealing damage, but they can also be won in more abstract ways. Dying to an enemy, but taking an enemy walker out with you might sound like a loss on paper, but end up being a totally favorable outcome given the newly obtained flex slot.
True, but they do also grab all the souls out of it. That sucks.
Maybe you got chased down by 4 enemies and killed, but doing so gave your team an opportunity to destroy multiple objectives elsewhere.
Hell yeah, guys.
The win condition of Deadlock is not necessarily set by which team fights better, but rather which team chooses better fights.
Yeah, y'all
should... People absolutely never ping an Overwatch, but still know how to spam I need healing when they lose 1 HP. You know, I've noticed in Overwatch, I feel like people don't actually use the pings. Like not even just like don't use them, but they don't see them. Like if I ping people half the time, they have no idea. They might as well have not even done it. They don't see the ping.
Honestly.
They're blind to them.
They might right behind.
They're ping blind.
I'm going back now. They're pushing in. They're coming for you guys.
There was no way for us to predict that, really. I'm in mid.
They have Aven's ult and Infernus ult.
Yeah.
There was no way of predicting that, you know.
Yeah, just...
some things can't control.
No way to predict that.
The team who picks better fights is typically the one most aware of what they're going up against. If the largest threat has an ultimate in their pocket, but the weakest link is often Narnia, a good team avoids the former and hate crimes the latter. Part of picking better battles is identifying where exactly your hero prefers to position themselves. Some heroes, like Ivy, benefit greatly from
loved fighting in those little alleys with Abrams just punching everyone to death.
Directly supporting frontliners. Other heroes, like Vindicta, benefit from being in the back line of a team fight. That is, nearby enough to dish out killing blows, but always from a safe distance. And even heroes with no need to stay close to the team, such as Wraith, end up helping anyways just by generating faraway distractions or cleaning up faraway messes. But oppositely, one could act as a gun-oriented Ivy, or a team-oriented Wraith. The generalist utility of most heroes mixed with the hyper-modularity of the item shop makes each build functionally distinct from one another. A basic damage build can be tailored towards single target elimination, or big fat AoE damage. You can make your gun fire ridiculously fast, or make it apply a dozen debuffs. High mobility builds can be a flat speed boost, but they can also lean into stealthiness, or verticality, or condition.
I heard the movement gods have taken over Deadlock. Like they're it's insane now.
If you prefer one ability in your kit
above all others, that
ability can be specifically imbued with stacking bonuses. I've personally made about 2 dozen McGinnis builds ranging from inoffensive support to triple stun silencer point blank true combo bullshit.
Where are you going? We're having fun. Come back to the fun. This is an enjoyable experience for both of us.
This is like when the game first dropped, like publicly, I built a Abrams CC build, and the way I built it was you could perma stun someone for a solid like 12 seconds. It wasn't the best build because it like sacrificed lifesteal, it sacrificed killing power. You could only just kill one person at a time, but you would ruin that one person's day, and I loved it.
This is criminal, honestly.
At higher level play, builds are less pre-constructed and more improvised on the fly to deal with the contextual strengths of enemy heroes. A terrible Vindicta requires very little item countering, but a dominant Vindicta necessitates the purchase of at least one knockdown on the team. Most heroes have specific counters and synergies with and against certain items. Haze tends to buy Unstoppable, but a curse will prevent her from using it. Holiday tends to buy Rapid Recharge, but a Warp Stone will let you escape her barrel spam. When a match starts, it's pretty reasonable to look at your lane opponent and immediately think about what items you're going to buy.
Oh,
if your lane partner is an extremely...
Dude, it's already progressed that far? Yeah, I'm not... There's no way I'm going back. Not that I wouldn't want to, it's just like, I would just...
Items are equally a personal resource, a communal resource, and a set of tools for dealing with specific problems. A well-rounded team will have a healthy mix of...
Like, when I was playing, we were at the point where it was like, okay, you could change what you were going to buy based on what they were buying, like their items. Like, if they were like, okay, they're playing this character, but they're going for this build, I can buy these items and I'll beat them. But this is next level.
Damage types, counter items, and maybe even support items. An awkward team will, by contrast, run 6 gun builds and call it a day. The shop is, in a way, a vignette of the many social dynamics on the server. Builds can be cooperative or duelist in nature. They can be built independently of enemy heroes or entirely defined by them. I could get far more theory crafty about this sort of thing, but I won't.
Why not?
Have I ever told you about Titanfall 2? There's this really cool player dynamic where good movement can lead to cat and mouse chases.
I never played Titanfall 2, chat.
By who has more...
I know, I might go back and do this. People always say the campaign was really good. I might do the campaign someday.
Sick-ass moves. Deadlock has the exact same thing and it's sick as fuck.
Is that a fucking cat?
Yeah, that's the plan.
Hey, do you think Jonas is still playing a lot of Deadlock? I saw him on the other night, but I don't know if he's playing a ton of it.
Door's closed. Door's closed. Bye-bye. See you tomorrow.
You need another pause?
Yeah, last one. Last one.
Plays constantly. He's on right now. He is playing right now. Go figure. Continue.
Off the dome, there's dash jumping. There's sliding.
Kind of feel bad for Deadlock a little bit, because like that game really is going to be insane when it fully comes out, I still think. But I also think that like it's going to be years probably. And I don't even know. Like, are they going to go console? Are they going to go full pro scene, esport?
There's a combination and repetition of the three. There's punch canceling and there's wall bouncing.
Jesus.
Across every lane, which can be boosted, which can be
Jesus. Oh, you go, God!
Above the skybox to make fast rotations. You can juke somebody down a hole and then hop back up it to throw them off. You can do cool shit like this.
Oh, bro, did you see where I went on the rim and then I did
what?
If you're ever stuck in a secret shop with an ulting ward and just and you're safe, like a deer in the headlights. Just watch him wander off. Look at that. These systems turn the movement into a combat mechanic in itself. If you're facing an enemy with good aim but terrible movement, you can win a fight by virtue of escaping them.
Is he okay?
Movement in fighting games, particularly plat fighters, plays a huge role in matchups. Evading the right attack creates a window to punish it with a follow-up. In Deadlock, punches can be parried, but punches can also be redirected, therefore parries can be avoided. A lash down spike can be dodged with a well-timed jump and then appropriately punished. A Yamato power slash can be evaded both by dodging and by escaping its effective range. Abilities which stun or tether can be turned into free shields via reactive barrier. Like fighting games, these matchups involve a degree of counter
reactive barrier too. Holy shit. I can only imagine how deep it's gotten.
Uh-oh, that would kill most McGinnises.
But I'm not most McGinnises!
Wait, how did they do
that?
Now
You may be wondering, which way will FUNKe run? The answer is I won't. Meep meep.
What the f?
Bye-bye. Unlike fighting games, your duel can be interrupted at any time by a third party intervening.
No one
Yeah,
hurts
my brain's already fucking...
friends.
That is, genuinely, that is probably going to be Deadlock's biggest hurdle, is casual players. Like, there's always going to be a market for a competitive game. That's why people always reference, like, TF2 is like... Not TF2, sorry. Not TF2. Titanfall 2. I guess it is technically a TF2, but... as like an insane game, insane movement, insane ability to do things. It's like, you know, casual player can't keep up, doesn't enjoy getting tap strafed on 19 million times, and they give up and they stop playing. And so it's not, even though like the super competitive players love it, if there's not like some kind of baseline floor to being able to compete or keep up in some way, they just kind of... You know
My favorite hero,
they kind of just move on.
has the lowest base mobility on the roster, and still
Can I ask something? I have never, in my entire 5 years of streaming, had someone come into my chat and say, "Can I ask something?" And it ever be anything that didn't scare the absolute shit out of me. What is it?
One of the most evasive players on the server, simply because in Deadlock, mobility is defined more by an understanding of the movement system rather than the run speed of your
hero. It happened once? Okay, you're right. It actually did happen a singular time. You're right.
Heroes can
but I'm actually 95% sure they got scared and didn't ask their legit question.
Predictably. Slow heroes can move unpredictably. Strafe a wall correctly and you can thwart an assailant's attack, or better yet, punish it. These two clips I'm showing, they happened back to back. I survived for 2 minutes doing this shit. Here's a clip that begins with me taking a walker. I do a full rotation around it just to avoid being killed. To save stamina, I wall bounce into a heavy punch. I fake out a run towards the stairs, then pivot into a back alley. In any other scenario, I'm probably home free, but uh-oh, a third guy shows up. So I climb the rope, just kidding, now I'm going this way. At this point, I'm totally improvising. Run left and Bebop will probably grab me. Run to lane and Bebop will probably grab me. Fuck it, we're going underground.
When did that get added?
At this point, I have expended every single escape option in my arsenal. Surely, the enemies are...
What'd that say?
Expended every single escape option in my arsenal. Arsenal.
Oh, this is the juice. This is what I wanted to see. I could have kept running up the stairs. I could have ran for purple and after rope fall. I could have ducked left in the drop off room. I could have used the rope in the drop off room. I could have weaved right in the teleport and still die. I could have weaved towards the purple from jungle. Best scenario. I could have wall kicked near Bebop and pivoted a new direction. I could have slid into jungle camps and ran for bridge. I could have never been this deep in the first place, and I could have played a less hate crimeable hero. I love this so much because, you know, okay, if I've learned anything from working on the internet and streaming and making videos, is you don't even think about in the moment. Sometimes you say something like, "Oh, there's not much, like, I've run out of options. I did everything I could there." Some fucking gremlin will go back and analyze you and be like, "Well, actually, you could have done this, yes, and yes. So you're just talk." Suck my nuts. So this being there, hilarious.
Surely, the enemies are gone by now.
Why are you here? I could have kept running. Why?
Guinness, are you okay?
On the other hand, high-level movement is not a free action. It requires split-second judgment, a good understanding of pathing, and even then, with experience, a foot can occasionally slip on the pavement.
Oh no.
It's easy to call Deadlock a MOBA when it is in fact every genre ever. It's a racing game, a horror game, a text RPG, it's a Vanquish-like, it has quick time events, it's a visual novel, a run and gun, an arena shooter, it's tower defense, it's Fortnite, it's a hack and slash, it's flight sim, it's a platformer, it's Katamari Damacy. Basically, it's a game with a million moving parts, but it's also a massive map with plenty of things to do.
True.
Did they just run the urn to us?
Yes, they did.
Having 4 lanes, 2 power-ups, a CTF mechanic, a mid-boss, and secret shops makes communication increasingly valuable as a team splits up to cover ground. Pushing 2 lanes simultaneously forces the enemy to make a choice on where they defend. Pushing all 4 lanes evenly creates a less urgent but more time-consuming counter-rotation. If enemies are turtled up in base, they can often be coaxed out by baiting or even killing the mid-boss. A team can plan any of these pushes with half-decent coordination, but hop in a lower rank match and propose a split push, you'll quickly be met with confusion if not outright silence.
We need a walker.
We need to push multiple lanes at the same time. We need to like coordinate a push on green and purple. Otherwise,
way too much thinking. I'm just gonna keep.
While the love child of Dota and TF2 merges many of the complex teamwork dynamics found in those games, a lot of Deadlock players actually don't.
I love the
fucking
chatting up here. Look, I love the chatting up here. So classic.
Here's a clip where two enemies run behind my team specifically to hate crime me.
in the back, Your McGinnis is getting jumped by two in the back.
Dude, shut the fuck up.
Mr. Frank, I'm begging you to pop off on my team right now. Please kill all of them.
Why are we fighting for that buff? McGinnis, are you okay?
I'm not!
Viper, there's too much heat.
Yeah, I'm just like giving up on the lane because you have no presence in it.
Some heroes are designed to be assassins. Naturally, their job is to go hunt and kill. But in Deadlock, tempo takes precedent over all else. There are good times to start fights, and there are very, very bad times to start fights. Maverick plays, while crucial for keeping enemies under pressure, often come from players who have zero tempo, zero awareness.
What are you doing?
Zero communication skills. Now, mistakes, of course, happen, but someone repeatedly rushing into disadvantageous fights alone is either unaware of the macro state of the moment, unconcerned with the preparedness of their teammates, or some other third thing.
What did I miss? Oh my god, you wrote an essay. Let's continue the video, sorry.
Another common mistake is players unconsciously positioning themselves identically to each other. Having one player apply pressure from an off angle is generally more ideal than having two players stand.
You know what's funny? This has probably become more common knowledge over time in Deadlock. No, you have not missed it, Shade. You have not missed it. I have it saved though. I grabbed it. It's probably become more common knowledge. I remember when I was playing it way back when, and like everyone was super sweaty and grinding. It's like, you know, talking about the ideas of holding different off angles while in the same lane, and like some people would go for soul, some people would go for pressure,
and in the same spot.
And now this is like teaching it to more average people.
Directions. It lets you see things your teammate can't.
Behind you.
It also divides the
Can I ask you a question?
attention.
Absolutely
Since
not. You guys get one question a day, and that
damage,
question's already been used.
A decision must be made on who they shoot. The most unenjoyable matches, by and large, are not ones where your team has a worse micro game. Often, the worst matches involve the exact opposite.
Yeah, one question a day.
A player with good aim can still have terrible positioning, a terrible intuition for what to focus on. You might win every fight you take, but if none of those fights are ever near a map objective, then those kills may not coincide with any meaningful progress. A team obsessed with getting kills but unconcerned with everything else has a tendency to meander, to forfeit objectives. Any sensible opponent can use this to grow a disparity in flex slots. Before long, the team with less kills wins.
The thing that sucks though is like all of this talk is probably why, even though I think Deadlock is going to be a big game and it's going to do great when it comes out, it's going to probably struggle with a casual audience.
By snowballing into base following one good team fight.
I hope it's not true, but that's kind of my thought.
This is, beyond a shadow of a doubt, a
all I know is me and a few other people that I know that couldn't put our full all into that game, all hit the somewhere around 70 to 100 hour wall, and that was where everyone started to drop it.
Cataclysmic failure of the oral variety. Nobody is calling missing. Nobody is planning pushes. Nobody is watching each other's backs. When 6 players are utilizing every communication feature for its intended purpose, that is, voice chat, pinging, drawing on the map, Deadlock becomes a totally different experience. At low-level play, it's as simple as someone informing you of the bridge buff spawning.
Alright, buffs and runner up, get ready.
Mine.
A few ranks higher up, players begin
you have to break them now? You have to punch them? You don't just slide through?
Themselves whether or not they're going to take a certain fight.
Yo, Wraith is in the secret shop in our pocket.
Yo, fuck chasing, bro.
I know, I'm just trying to save our pocket right now.
At high-level play, parallel thinking allows complex multi-lane plays to be established, less with demands and more with acknowledgements of intent.
I'm pushing up purple.
Okay, I'll push up green with you then.
A lot of the scary ults they have are on cooldown right now, so we should try to take advantage of that.
I'll try to like draw them out over here with a shove. There, yeah, there's like 3.
Put pressure on all waves. Put pressure on all waves. That's
Yeah,
simple.
I gotta back up.
I didn't realize how that's such a more complex call out. Because like if you've never played this game, never played Deadlock, if you heard the first set, the second set, and now this is the third set of callouts, the third set of callouts might actually sound like the least valuable. You're like, wait a minute, what are they talking about? But to me, actually, I know what they're talking about. They're talking about the way they're pushing. They're trying to draw different forms of pressure. They're talking about ult usage and talking about baiting them. But the first one and the second one were just like, hey, this ability's coming up in 2 seconds. You don't need that call out if you know the spawn timer. And the second one of, hey, we don't chase that guy, but I'm helping my teammate. You can just say like, hey, like on you. And then that's it. And then like you save him and then you move on. There's like no need to come any further. But this one,
put simply, Deadlock is
more
extremely
simple, but it's actually
fun
complex
game when played with socially articulate people and borderline psychological torture with anything else.
Yep.
Unfortunately, they have all the things to finish people when we don't.
Who's the guy who keeps talking? Is that the 0-3 McGinnis?
No.
Oh, that hurtful. I didn't say anything. Why are you talking to me?
Talking shit.
I just can't stand when people are constantly complaining, like they just don't shut up and just play the game. You know what I mean? I wonder what the thought process is to be all the way up there, McGinnis.
It should be noted though that
classic. I hate people that just complain the entire game and shit talk. Proceeds to do it.
Executed.
Proceeds to do it first. Proceeds to do it later. If you always think about a chat, a lot of times people are projecting very fucking hard.
Teamwork potentially creates more problems than solutions.
I'm healing you.
Why you
We played these games before.
Dip? Oh.
Don't ever touch me with rescue beam again, please.
You sound very passive aggressive.
I'm not. I'm being active aggressive. If you fucking touch me with rescue beam, I will never fight again. Stop! Let it go!
My most played hero by far is McGinnis. As a slow, powerful zoner, she lends herself exceptionally well to understanding and tracking the location of every hero on the map. For McGinnis to push forward, she needs
That's
to
my
wait
type
for a
of guy
window
right
of
there.
distraction to act upon. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Good enough.
Got it.
For her to defend, she needs to be acutely aware of every possible angle of attack. These requirements on any other hero would be a massive downside. Like Hayes does not require a distraction to kill confirm, and Abrams is not tasked with the monitoring of his own team's backline. McGinnis is often dependent on those
Abrams
things,
go punch.
but when provided them, she becomes, pun intended, a wall. She is, in essence, a safety net for any teammate running back home side.
Kalka's gonna die.
No way.
Oh my god, get out, get out.
Oh my god, you're a G.
You're good, you're
You're a G, bro.
Wait, you transform
But
into
she
a
can also
cat?
be an
That's so
effective
cool.
battering ram for use against overly guarded objectives. A safety net, however, is only useful when placed below a tightrope. A battering ram is only useful when it reaches a door. Likewise, if no player ever runs to a McGinnis for help, they can't expect her to catch their fall.
McGinnis, I need your help.
I'm on my way. I'm on my way. No.
And if no player ever creates an opening to attack, then don't expect the door to be battered for very long. McGinnis represents, to varying degrees of success, every archetype of a MOBA hero. She can be a
McGinnis
healer,
propaganda.
a hard carry, a demi tank. She can throw
Someone should
down
show Siegel this
massive
video.
targeted AoE, or she can force enemies out of an entire section of the map. Her kit has a little bit of every utility, and anything it doesn't have she can make up for in the shop. McGinnis neatly fills out any blind spots in a team's plan. But for her to do that, her team needs a plan.
Siegel was a big McGinnis player.
3, 2, 1. Oh. That was awkward.
I wasn't there at all. Oh, that was a big dynamo.
Oh god.
Without one, McGinnis lacks the agency to generate much value beyond a few flex slots. Realistically, for all of the ways her team relies on her, she relies far more on them to get shit done.
Come to the bridge, come to the bridge.
I'm trying.
If that's not your kind of play style, chances are Deadlock has another.
Is she
hero
still
to
not?
your
Is she
taste.
like not good
But
in
a better reason to compliment
early
the
lanes
game
anymore?
Is that it's fused most of the interesting social
Do people, like, learn how to play
interactions
against her or
across
something?
every type of multiplayer game. To understand Deadlock, you gotta understand your opponent's mental. You gotta read their tendencies and get ahead of them. To operate as a team, you gotta give teammates a chance to cook and be prepared to scrub their floor afterwards. You gotta ride the seesaw. You gotta tech the knockups.
Just eat up the walker, guys. Eat it up from the front. They're looking right.
Eat up from the front.
Eat it from the front, brother.
To truly enjoy Deadlock, one should truly enjoy the act of symbiosis itself.
Let's go, let's go, let's go, let's go! I love you. Thank you, Viscous. That was actually really cool.
Little stuff like that is
I
like
wanna
best
suck
parts
that
of
green
Deadlock, though.
cock, dude.
Those little save moments.
Arrivederci.
Yeah, the cube save.
You will live! You will live!
Rescue beam.
I appreciate that, bro. Hit Abrams, he's really low.
Yoink.
Nice.
Yeah, okay, watching these makes me want to play Deadlock again, these little moments. Not actually. Oh!
Thanks. Thought I was toast.
No, my fucking wash.
Oh my god, your voice is deep as hell, bro.
Thanks, Daddy. You want to see what you do?
What? I rate it 1 Gigantic out of a Blue album. And I rate Gigantic 1 Anatolia out of a Blue album. Because it's so good, it kind of like pisses me off.
Okay. That's pretty damn good. Holy shits. I see why people love their videos, even though they like never fucking upload. That was actually really damn good. Good video. All right. I always say I want to play Deadlock again, but I don't actually want to play Deadlock again because of how much it would probably take to get back into it. And I know I would just get shit on for hours because I probably still have, I mean, unless the MMR decays, I probably have pretty high MMR still, which means that I'd probably just have a bad time. So didn't even hit the like button. Listen, the like button doesn't really matter on YouTube. The big thing is watch time. We watched the whole thing in one sitting from the beginning to the end. That is the most helpful thing we could do for the algorithm. Actually, we went back and we watched it in slow mode. That is all the keys to YouTube. Actually, you want to know the ultimate key to YouTube? If every single person who clicked on your video watched it in 0.25 speed the whole way through, that would actually be the number one, genuinely. But good video, good video.